Okay, we're here. I'm wearing my love shirt, my Valentine's Day earrings. It's the last day of our Sound House relationship checkup. You made it. I made it. Okay, today is the last floor of the house and it is creating shared meaning. So I'm going to run through all of that, but I want to do a quick recap, very quick recap on all the floors so far. Okay, so again, just to remind everybody, this is from the Gottman Method, from the Gottman Institute, from Julie and John Gottman. And the Sound Relationship House is what they call it. And I'm calling it the Sound House Relationship Checkup. The two pillars of the house, and I'll attach the picture again. The two pillars of the house are trust and commitment, right? Gotta have those. The first level is love maps. How well you know each other's world, right? Favorite things, things you like, best friends, worst enemies, all of that, right? The next level is fondness and admiration. Are you recognizing each other? Are you praising each other? Are you telling each other what you appreciate, what you like about them, things like that? The next one is turning towards each other. So this is making bids. This is knowing that there's potentially something going on and making the decision to turn towards each other instead of to turn away from each other. This is going to your partner first before you're going to other people, right? So turning towards, this is where I talked a lot about like in being intentional and conscientious about what's going on in the relationship. The next one was having a positive perspective. Are you guys friends or foe? Do you think of them as like your best friend or the first person you want to talk to when something good happens, when something bad happens? Or are you kind of trying to avoid them? Do you feel like they're out to get you? Is every thought of them negative? The next one is managing conflict. And this is where we reviewed the 4 horsemen, if you remember. And we talked about soothing, right? Self-soothing, and how that can really help you like dissipate and not be so geared up maybe. And then our last video was life dreams, and not just yours, but your partner's, and kind of making them happen. How can you work together to meet each other's dreams and life goals? And so last but not least is shared meaning. So this seems like, well, duh, doesn't that just happen? But there are relationships that happen where, you know, maybe they would say, well, we never fight, or that's not a problem. Like, we never argue. There's no conflict. And that's when you kind of start to wonder, is there no conflict because there's no connection? These would be maybe couples that you see out in public that like don't talk to each other through the whole dinner. Maybe they both have their phones out, or they just aren't, you know, maybe they never hold hands, or just know, maybe it's like they live separate lives. They're just doing it around each other, right? So we want to avoid that. Now, again, when you're dating, it seems like you probably have talked about, oh yeah, absolutely, we have the same beliefs on this. We know how we want to raise our children. We have the same beliefs about what, you know, money is, or what does home mean, or where we want to live, things like that. But again, I feel like I'm on repeat. Sometimes after the wedding, so first of all, I should say a lot of people spend a lot of time, a lot of couples, planning for the wedding and not planning for marriage. I don't think that used to happen in like my parents' generation. I definitely know people in my generation who have done it, and I think it's big now too. Everything became about the wedding day. Every little girl's dream. I've been planning my wedding my whole life. That's great. I hope it's a fabulous wedding, but I hope the marriage that happens afterwards is even better. Okay? So just let's get that out of the way. But after the wedding and after, again, possibly kids or career changes or moves, somewhere along the way, did you guys quit sharing meaning with each other? Did you quit connecting with each other? One of the things that the Gottmans talk about is the rituals of connection. So this just might be little things that are like your little thing that you do, whether it's like a kiss on the cheek in the morning or, a big embrace when one person comes home, or maybe there's little catchphrases that you say. Maybe there's pet names for each other. Maybe it's that you all sit together at the dinner table with no phones allowed. Whatever it is, those little rituals of connection that I think, you kind of think are cute or like that are yours and you're like, oh, this is just what we do. Maybe you're embarrassed to even tell people about it because it seems silly. Those little things matter. Building rituals of connection into your relationship help you stay connected. And that's kind of the whole point of this house, is how do we stay connected? How do we stay connected through conflict? How do we stay connected when there's kids and life gets turned what feels like upside down? When you're just trying to keep the little people alive. When maybe you're just trying to keep yourself alive or sane. So having shared meaning, it's one of those things that I think there's a season in marriage where people kind of put it on the back burner, maybe put it up on the top shelf. But we have to remember to kind of dust that off and bring that back in as a necessary component, because unfortunately, I think a lot of times what we see is, I have seen this way too many times, unfortunately, but they get married, they're madly in love, they have kids, and then their life becomes about the kids. And 18 years later, the kids leave, maybe more than 18 years later if there's lots of them. And they kind of look at each other and go, who are you again? Do we have anything in common? Do I even like you? And that's just sad. It feels like a waste of a lot of years, right? So I don't want that for anybody. I know it happens. This is why I believe that kids do not come before your partner. I also think there's a biblical reason for that. But even the Gottmans talk about, they have a whole series about bringing home baby and how to continue to prioritize your relationship even once you start having kids. So just don't think about your relationship as something you put on hold while you go through this section of life. That is a recipe for disaster. So I want you to, if again, you're doing the checkup and you're kind of looking at this going, ooh, we don't do any of that, get it off the shelf, get it off the back burner, dust it off. Let's figure out some rituals of connection. I was reading this one article and this guy was really cute. He was talking about their first date, and then he like kind of repeated a lot of the same stuff for their engagement, and then every year on their anniversary they do the same thing, and it's just kind of a sweet story. So anyways, even if it's something like that, some people renew their vows all the time. Whatever it is, find a ritual of connection, okay? I hope you guys have enjoyed this series. I want to do something a little bit different this year for Valentine's Day. Again, if you or someone you know are struggling in your relationship and you're just not sure what to do, or maybe you watched all these videos and you were like, like I thought we were good, but you said some things that makes me concerned, feel free to reach out. Again, you have to be in Texas or Pennsylvania for me to be able to work with you, but feel free to reach out. And if I can't work with you, I can try and find you someone that would be a good fit, that has the same training that I have. Because the relationships are important, and I don't want anyone to get to the end of their marriage and feel like, oh, we should have done this, or we should have tried this, or we waited too long, right? Like I said, unfortunately, too many people wait 6 years too late before they get help in their marriage. So anyways, I hope this has been helpful. Reach out. You guys know how to find me. I've got a website. The email is sydney@well-counseling.com. My cell phone is 412-550-0222. I'm on Instagram and Facebook. But I would love to hear from you. If this was helpful, if this was not helpful, if you're just more confused now, let me know. I would love to see if I could help you have the best relationship possible. All right. Thank you guys so much. Happy Valentine's Day. Enjoy it with your loved ones.